Getting into a conversation about jobs in the housing sector, and the Principal Secretary at the State Department of Housing and Urban Development, Charles Hinga, is our guest. Good morning, PS.
Morning.
Karibu sana. Last time we met at the construction site.
Yes.
Then the other one at intern's deployment site. And now you're here with us
Thank
in
you
the
for
studio.
For allowing me to wear a suit, but ordinarily I'm in helmets.
Karibu sana. Felaris is going to welcome you with today's quotes.
Today's quote is courtesy of an American physicist by the name Richard Feynman. And the quote is, "You don't understand something until you can explain it simply." How does that speak to you?
It's actually so surreal because trying to explain housing, as you saw that day when I was in State House and sweating and trying to explain it in numbers until you have to hit the water.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, but thankfully for me and where I am now, I don't have to spend a lot of time in studios and trying to explain them because the work is showing for itself. Yeah, so the work is speaking for itself, and real people are getting into homes. You have real people living out of it. So, yeah, it is once you get it done, then it speaks for yourself.
Okay. You don't have to explain.
No.
If you don't understand. If you understand.
And the good thing is I saw your previous guest here talking. I think you guys had like a statistics 101.
Yep.
And the difference between what he talks about on GDP per capita. If you get 5 distinguished economist or statistician, they'll give you different numbers because they all use assumptions. The good thing about where we are is that it's either you build the houses or you didn't.
Yeah.
It's either they are being seen or they're not being seen. So I think my job
yours is easier.
Is much easier.
Let's start with how much easier it is. PS, how many construction sites do we have currently going on in the country for the affordable housing? And how many units are under construction?
Okay. So first of all, that is a moving target. So I can only tell you as at the time at which we reported.
Okay.
Because I can tell you as late as early this morning, I was signing new sites.
Okay.
So I can tell you comfortably that we have got, for affordable housing alone, we have over 300. Markets over 300, but we have even other projects like we do high mast lights, which are also considered as a site. In total, as at the last time we reported, I had over 1,800 contracts signed.
Okay.
Yeah. So because whether you're installing a high mast, whether you're doing a borehole in a particular, it's considered as a contract. But for purposes of the big one obviously is the housing and the markets. Yeah. So those will be the numbers.
300 housing projects.
300 housing projects.
300 markets.
Over 300
Over
markets.
300 markets.
Correct.
Under construction.
Under construction.
And then, so you've said in total, if we add it plus the high mass plus...
It's over 1,800.
Over 1,800 projects. Okay.
And let me give you some context on that. In the last administration, we had a team that used to be called, or there was a setup in government which was called NDITC. That was all the PSs that used to meet to track all the government projects, all of them. At that time, the total number of projects that we were tracking, were about 500 projects. Now, where we are sitting, one state department has over 1,800 projects that we are tracking. So you can just see, just in terms of the massive, volume of work that one state department, is undertaking is quite huge.
Okay. So let's go into just housing and markets.
Yes.
Okay. No, let's do the housing. As at last count, how many housing units were under construction?
We had, as of last count, we had 284,000.
284K.
284,000
units. And when was this last count?
This is at the end of February.
Okay. Now, let's then go into how many people are working as at end of February in housing.
Our reported. Okay, so let me take you back, because now we have a report.
Okay.
And I think it is better that we use this report, because I said this number, it's a moving target. So as at the time of reporting, this was January. Okay. As of January, there was 648,000 workers. Okay, that is both direct and indirect.
648,000
48,000
direct and indirect workers.
Direct and indirect, yeah.
Okay. Able to break it down into how many direct?
I can pull it out for you.
Yeah.
Here, it is here. Let me give it to you. And then, as I pull it out, let me also explain that these numbers do not take. These are attributable jobs. So let me explain what attributable jobs are. This is a person that is one way or another is only involved in affordable housing, one side or the other. And it is very important for context purposes, because even myself, I struggled to between a head count, okay, which is what we ordinarily expect.
Yeah.
So you expect, if I say 648,000, you'll say, can we go count the head count?
Right.
But if you do that, you're going to have very convoluted numbers. Why will I say that? Today in Mukuru, the various units are at different stages of completion. So you will go there today and count a painter, because there is a task for painting. Okay, so if you do a head count today, the painter is in Mukuru. If that painter finishes the job, because the painting is not for the whole year, okay, tomorrow, if you do a head count, that painter is not there.
Yeah.
But that painter is in Syokimau. Okay?
Same
because
painter.
Same painter.
Has gone to a different site.
Has gone to a different site. Okay? Why? Because there is another assignment.
Right.
And that is why, even as I said, even for myself, because I'm not a statistician, I'm not an economist, the terminologies the economists use is something which is called full-time equivalent. Okay? And it is very important that I explain those ones, because where does it all start? Everything starts with a tender. In the tender document, I asked the contractors, I give them what is called quantities. And one of the quantities, a bill of quantity, BQs. In the BQs, there is something there which is labor. Okay? And on average, labor takes about 30% of that total contract. But the way the labor is broken down, it's broken down in man hours. Okay? It is broken down in man hours. Then what the contractor does is that when they bid, okay? And remember, this is a competitive process. Okay, so this is not guesswork, because if they underquote, it's a fixed contract. Okay, so I expect them, whatever they told me they're going to spend on labor is actually what they're going to spend on labor.
Yes.
And this is very, very important, because sometimes you just have to go and immerse yourself, first of all, on what is going on, so that you can be able to understand the numbers, because the numbers can be very confusing. So you have a schedule of work. And largely, the schedule for construction is, if you want to break it down, is broken down into three main phases. The first phase is what we call substructure work. This is underground work. Okay? So you get a site, you have to clear, and you start to excavate.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're going to find the rock, there is a lot of excavation work. At that time, the most important person on that site is the plant operator. Is a guy with the excavator, the bulldozers, and the drivers for tippers, because you're excavating and cutting away the soil. Okay? Then you start putting the foundation. The machines leave. Okay? Now labor start coming in. The cement start coming in. You start to pour concrete, you do the blinding and so on and so forth. Then you finish the substructure. Remember, the person who was planned operating is now gone. Okay? You then get to the what is called the superstructure. The superstructure is the walling and whatnot, which is, if it is 14 floors, so that's where there's a lot of labor. Okay, because you know, it is
So
and
Koroga.
as you do that, it's koroga. But now what do you need? As you koroga, you also need a plumber. Because as you come every floor, you don't come and do the plumbing after you finish. Okay, you lay the pipes. Okay, you lay the pipes for electrician and so on and so forth. So you start going up. Okay, when you reach a certain level, okay, then you start doing finishes. Okay, so on top, you're still going on with the masonry work, which is quite high. And then you have got all these other trades, okay? Specialization, okay? And those guys will be engaged for a long period of time, okay? So if you are to do a head count, those are the guys you'll probably be counting every other day, together with a lot of casuals, okay? Right? So you have got a full-time or direct job, professional. You have got indirect jobs, and we will talk about a little bit what is indirect job. But these are jobs that are attributable to that housing. Okay?
Yes.
So then when you're done with the superstructure, comes the finishes.
Finishing, yeah.
Now finishing also has a lot of labor. Why? It is painting. It is windows. Now we bring in the juakali. Okay? The juakali guys don't work on that site.
Yeah.
They have their own
They've
places.
been building the windows elsewhere.
They've been
off-site.
building the windows elsewhere.
Yeah.
So again, if you want to go and do a head count, you will miss
You're
them.
not going to find them. but
Okay,
they're contributing.
you'll have to go to where they are working, right? But then the juakali people employ so many people.
Yeah.
You know, when I did 10,000 windows, I mean doors, for my first project, the total number of people that were somehow involved were 10,000 of 3 juakali association. Okay. Ngong Road, Kamukunji, and Kariobangi.
Right.
That's how they divided. So again, will I go and say I created 10,000 jobs? So I think it is important before we start calculating to understand how the economists work out on what is called an economic job.
Yes.
This report that ours, which has been released by Grant Thornton, which is an international firm, is very different from maybe what statistic with maybe KNBS will do and other people. But when you compare the numbers, they are within what they call statistical margin of error. Okay, so some apply a formula. We did not want to apply initially a formula. Okay? We asked them, you go to every site, speak to the contractor, get the BQ. From the BQ, get the schedule of works and quantify for me who is working at what point, and how many are they. That is why our report is very detailed. But because KNBS is the authority on matters statistics, we said, can KNBS be part of that process? Because at the end of the day, they will have to validate.
Yep.
They will have to validate those numbers.
Yes.
Okay, so KNBS was part of it. The first thing they do is they agree on the methodology. Okay?
Yeah.
They have different methodologies of how they will count. So they agreed, okay, we will go to site, we will check the BQs, we will speak to the contractors, we will ask them for wages, how you're paying, so that we know who are you paying. All right? And then they work back to calculate the number of workers.
Okay.
So the report says, let me now give you the actual numbers. As per January 2026, the overall jobs created by AHP stands at 640,442, of which 464,759 were direct. And they break them down further into 3 main categories. You have affordable housing direct. which was 379,194.
Sorry, 379.
194. Then they have what we call institutional housing. Institutional housing are police, universities where we're doing hostels, KDF where you've seen we've done, we just handed over some houses and now we have got another 10,000 units. So this NYS is institution, judiciary is institution, Kenya Forest, they have institutions. So they're called institutional houses. Okay. Together with student accommodation. Okay. Those are all institutional housing. So 52,740. Markets. Markets, they have direct, which was 32,825.
How many, sorry?
32,825. These are direct jobs. Then you have got what they call now MSME. Okay, so this is now your Juakalis and so on and so forth.
So the guys have been contracted to do windows,
doors,
and so
balustrades. Absolutely. Okay. When it comes to things like finishes, you need joineries, your wardrobes, and so on and so forth. And by the way, that is work that we have ring-fenced for women, in specifically now, because one of the numbers that we want to really drive is women in construction, and we have engaged a few of them that have done really fantastic job on the finishes and the joinery. We still have a lot of women on actual site, but because of their jobs that are also ring fenced for the youth, okay, and I'm gonna come back to that because it's very important, because this study, when you look at it, is so detailed.
Sorry, you don't give the numbers for MSME.
Okay, so the MSME was 175,683. Okay.
Okay.
This is then in the MSME, you have got what we call MSME subsector, indirect jobs, okay, which were 113,756, and then you have got professional indirect jobs, and I'll tell you what is MSME indirect job. Okay. Professional indirect jobs.
We'll take a break. Professional indirect, how many?
61,927.
Okay. These are big numbers. Fernandez, these are many numbers.
These are very many numbers. After the break, we'll come back and just look at the numbers that are coming from this report by Grant Thornton, numbers that His Excellency did report in the State of the Nation address towards the end of last year, KNBS, because the numbers are many and we need to speak in unison, and it's very confusing to Kenyans why we are speaking to numbers but we are not using the same source. So after the break, we'll be looking at that, including what you've just pointed at, ring-fencing some jobs for youth, for women, and so much more. Stick around. This is Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time.
Samsung is saying, ask him how much are skilled labor paid per month, unskilled labor, as in Tuamkono. Are they working on contract? That will help us to get to understand these employment figures better. So PS will respond to that as we continue with the conversation.
Kaburu amesema, Hi Mariam, ask the PS kama najua boma yangu interns hawajalipwa last month's stipend.
Utajibu hiyo. Can they tell us how much the government has generated from sold units? Which account hold the cash? What do they generate monthly from sales? I think those ones we can tackle that towards the end. Just answering. First, we focus on jobs, right? Because also Sherman is asking, Jeremy is asking, what will happen to the population working on those houses once the buildings are completed? Will they become jobless again?
That's a very good question,
right? Sherman, PS, once said contractors tend to focus on Nairobi. What specific incentive or policy has the government introduced to push housing projects into other regions? What are the results seen so far? Lenny Steve is saying the housing levy is usually formal from the pay slips. The gains also be like 70% replicated because as it is? No. It's not like the bigger housing debate. This will never end.
It will never end. It will never end.
Yeah. Start with the direct one from Kaburu.
Yes.
Africa.
Right. So
interns.
Interns. So it is true. The interns have not been paid, and no one has been paid actually. Even myself. What happened is that so we have two budgets in which we pay. We have what you call the exchequer, budget, which comes from National Treasury, and then we have the budget that comes from the housing levy, which is from the Affordable Housing Board. So there was a mistake. My team tells me when they combined the two payrolls. The exchequer one, and then the one for the interns. So the interns one is they were supposed to be paid by the 25th because that money we have. And then the other one for the exchequer, we actually wait until when Treasury sends the money to us. Okay, so there was a mix-up, but then they were not able to disaggregate the two payrolls, and so they were told to wait for the exchequer to be sent, and I'm told that the exchequer is being sent today. And so they should be paid. But their money, we have it. It is just some. It's a mistake that should not have happened in terms of processing the two payrolls. Yeah, but the money is there. It is just some mix-up that happened in the HR.
So when
Going by what Catherine is saying, Aki, as interns, we are suffering without payment, right?
They will be
Nothing
paid.
What's going on?
They will be paid.
The issue here, PS, is direct and simple communication. You have their numbers, all of them. You can send them a message, all of them.
Yeah. Correct.
We acknowledge we have not sent you money.
Yes.
We are working on it.
Right.
We shall give you updates.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That
Settles.
Settles.
it doesn't settle much, but at least it gives them information.
Okay.
That we are aware. See where peke yako, we are aware that we there's something that is on our side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not on your side.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's why some of these public engagements are important because personally where I sit, we have had this conversation about interns and the interns payment should never be late because the money, we have it. Ours comes in when the money is sent by Treasury, and we may make other arrangements. For example, we may make with our bank. They can pay the salaries because they can wait for the exchequer to come. But that arrangement has not been made for interns because we have the money.
Yeah.
So
for them, when should they expect the money? You said exchequer inakuja
it
leo.
should come today, but by tomorrow, latest Thursday, they should be paid.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will follow up today as I leave here. It is one of the things that I'm going to follow up because, these are young people, very young people that and it's a stipend that you're paying them. I mean, it makes a huge difference to them, but they are also out of pocket. So it is expenses because they have to travel to site and so on and so forth. So we want to fix that. So it's not because of no money or any
So
other
there's
things. It's
money
just
to pay them.
the money is there to pay them. Yeah, and
I want us to go back to the numbers because a lot of Kenyans then have questions about how we'll hear His Excellency come out and say 428,000 jobs have been created. That's his State of the Nation address last year in November. Then we have the Affordable Housing Board chairperson, Jeremiah Simu, come out and say 330,000 jobs, direct and indirect, have been created by June 2025. That was last year. Same period in which KNBS is placing their data.
Yeah, it's 233,000.
Yes. Then we have the report that we've just gone through by Grant Thornton, which are commissioned by your office, that has the numbers that we've just looked at. Then we also have some figures that closely almost tied to what the Affordable Housing Board chairperson during, I think you had a tour somewhere in Cape Town in November last year. So you stated 300,000 jobs. So the thing is here, to any Kenyan that is looking at these numbers, the question is the inconsistency that we keep seeing with these numbers, down to the point where you have to come out and say KNBS is being malicious in their numbers. And malice is a very big word.
And I did not say that. Yeah.
But you were disapproving of the numbers you were giving out.
No, I was not disapproving. Yes, and I'm going to correct that.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll come to that. So point is, these numbers that, these numbers you're looking at, these numbers the public is being fed, and we need to read from one source.
Yes.
We need to look at the same numbers so that if at all there's going to be any truth to the numbers, it is, numbers don't lie.
Correct.
At this point, the inconsistency is what we're trying to unpack.
And there is no inconsistency. So let me explain to you.
Okay.
So, number one, it is at what point is being reported.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, as I've mentioned to you, the number of contracts that I'm signing every day is unprecedented. Okay? If you look at the number of advertisement that we have done, At some point, I even advertised 89 projects. By the time you finish the evaluation and they come on board, they're coming board thick and fast. So that's the first thing, okay? Number two, let's come to the KNBS. And I don't want to say that there was any deliberate, misinformation, because, it looks like everybody interpreted the numbers the way they are. And when the report was released on Wednesday, in one of the media houses, where they portrayed the president at the State of the Nation saying 428,000 jobs, okay? And then they go and read KNBS, which says 283,000, okay? So first of all, those two things. So we react to what the media has said. We say, nah, that is not possible. But we have not even seen that report by KNBS. Okay? So the first thing that you look at, you are like, how is it possible? Because KNBS is part of our process. Only to find out that the 238,000 jobs is for the entire construction sector, not housing. Okay? So, and KNBS is reporting jobs created in that year. They're not reporting cumulative. Okay? Can we be clear on that?
Yes.
So they're saying there's 238,000 jobs created in the construction sector, of which housing is one of them. Construction has roads, has all these other sectors. Okay? So that is very important. And but ours is cumulative. So what the president is reporting at the State of the Nation is that since I became president of this nation, I started a program called Affordable Housing. In this program, as of the time he was reporting, okay, we have 458,000 jobs under construction. Okay? Cumulative from 2023 when the program started. So the KNBS number everybody is reading has nothing to do with housing. It is the whole sector that has been reported, and it is all the jobs that have been created. So when you look at the total number of jobs in 2025 in the construction sector, they say it's 700 and I think 65 or 700 and something thousand jobs. Those are not housing jobs. Those are for the entire construction sector. The 238 that were being quoted were specific to
affordable housing.
No. That's the misreading.
The 238,000 by KNBS
you have the
are
KNBS
specific to construction.
The 238 is direct jobs in construction. Then there is another almost 400,000. It is there in the paper yesterday. If you go to Mboro's article, where he actually breaks it down for you. So he says direct is 238, then indirect is 400 and something, giving you the 765.
Yes.
Not housing.
Yes.
That is the entire construction sector. Now, I don't again want to read malice because these are numbers. And so what does Mboro do? Mboro goes and takes 2025 numbers and minuses the 2021 numbers. And then he concludes that the only job created by the entire sector, not housing, is 77,000 jobs. I mean, that is, it is too simplistic. Okay? So let me finish by saying that the numbers are not lying, but the numbers are changing. The numbers are changing, and they're changing thick and fast. As we sign contracts, I can tell you right now, the number of contracts that are at the formative stage, okay, are very many. The contractor is getting to site, they're mobilizing. So if you invite me to this studio next month, when I have, now all those other projects have started, the numbers will be different. Now, that is why it is important to commission a study. Okay? Because the numbers that we give the president are based on what? Okay? They were based, because this is a new program. You go back to the World Bank, because you have got different authorities. You go back to the World Bank. The World Bank says, in their report of 2017, titled Unaffordable and Unavailable, they state that if Kenya invests in housing, okay? If you invest in housing, because they were talking about the state of the economy, and they're saying, what are some of the things that you can do to jumpstart the economy? And they actually punted and said, focus on housing. Why? Because housing has a very huge multiplier effect, more than roads. Because you see, roads is, just the road, the guys who's there.
Yeah.
But housing, it has huge. You have plumbers, you have everybody, you have the money it has a huge multiplier effect. So they say focus on housing. And they say that if you focus on housing, you will create 3 direct jobs and 5 indirect.
Okay.
So they're talking about 8 attributable jobs. Okay? But then when we started the program, and we say if we use the World Bank 8 jobs being created, these numbers, they're just too many.
They're much more.
They're much more. So what did we do? We said for purposes of reporting, we and I hope I don't confuse you, because as I said, it gets very complicated
Very
between what we
granular.
call head count
Yes.
and what they call full-time equivalent. FTE.
Yes.
Full-time equivalent. And I'll just take 1 minute to explain that.
Okay.
So
I was just
we took that every unit will have 1 full-time equivalent
Okay.
direct job and 1 full-time equivalent indirect job. Extremely conservative. So as we went with a base of 2,
okay.
the World Bank was saying go with a base of 8.
Was it
Okay.
8 per unit?
Yes, so it is attributable. And I'll tell you what
Okay.
is attributable, because
Again, how they
it
equate
gets
to one another.
But
Okay.
let me land on this, because if we leave it hanging, it will
confuse
actually
us.
confuse people
Okay.
more.
Okay.
So we went with 1 full-time equivalent direct and 1 full-time equivalent indirect. So the numbers the president is pronouncing is based on 2 jobs per unit. Okay? So at the time he was reporting, we had about 200, maybe 220,000 units under construction. Okay?
Yeah.
So multiply by 2, you get 440 or 450 that the president is reporting. Okay? The next month, that number has changed because the number of units are different. Now, so today, as I said, you're almost sitting at 284,000. If you look again at the study, which was in January, was showing 218,000. So the numbers are changing thick and fast.
Okay.
Until we are able to develop this. Now, what does this report show? The report shows, actually sort of vindicates us in terms of what you call attributable jobs, because when you take the numbers where they have verified and you work it backwards, it shows that the full-time equivalent should be 3.26 jobs. So we've been using 2 conservative.
Yeah.
They're saying 3.26. But let me then show you that the numbers are even higher. Okay? But we choose to be conservative because now, which are the jobs which are not attributable? Let me begin with cement. I'll give you 1 or 2 examples, then so that for context and understanding, and why the numbers will be everywhere, and that's why it's important to have a methodology. Cement. Where does cement job start? The cement job does not start on site.
It starts at mining.
It starts at mining.
Right.
So the guy that is in a quarry in Kitui, that is mining limestone today, how are you able then to attribute that job
to a housing unit?
To a housing unit. It's difficult to do it because that limestone that they're mining, will go to bridges,
It's also
will go
going
to
to roads.
I was about to say, should you attribute it to a housing?
You should be, because
Should you?
You should. No, not the full. Not
You
the
should
full time.
attribute a portion of it.
You should attribute
portion.
a portion of it,
Yes.
and that is why
A what portion?
A portion. You attribute a certain portion, and that is where now the economic formulas they come in. Okay, on how to create the job. Let me give you another one. The person that is let's say now we've reached, the houses are complete, and you need someone to process the mortgage. Okay, if you go to a bank, there's someone who is processing many mortgages.
Yes.
One of those mortgages is house. But you cannot go say all the people who are processing the mortgages are. So it is the shilling that is being spent, because this is now the economic multiplier.
Yes.
Yeah.
The shilling that is being spent on housing is going to pay more than the person on site. A portion of it has paid for the person who is on the quarry, whether it is sand, whether it is aggregate. It has paid for the person who transported the sand from the quarry. But that person, there is no roll call. I can see. And by the way, even if they had a roll call, if I go and ask that person who is mining, I ask them, this sand, is it for housing? Because, okay, or the limestone. So that's why I said the numbers can get very complicated. That is why you come back to internationally accepted baseline. Now, the World Bank is very high. But we will reach there. And let me tell you how we will reach there. So what the economists tell you, for us, what they told us, don't report on housing data, it's going to be very convoluted until you hit 70,000 units.
Okay.
Because you see, let me go back to the person that I mentioned to you, the painter. The painter in Mukuru today, okay, if there are only few units, they will paint, then they will either have no job,
They'll be out of a job.
they will be out of a job. When you hit 70,000 units in different parts of the country, that painter will paint Mukuru, then go to Starehe, then go to Shaurimoyo, then go to whatever, because they have continuous jobs that are coming in. So at 70,000 jobs, that's where you're going for one. When you start to produce 200,000 units a year, that's what the World Bank is saying, now you can attribute 3 direct and 5 indirect, because you have so many jobs that actually this painter now, you need multiple more painters to be at different sites.
Right.
So that, I think that is that's why the numbers seem to be everywhere. But for us, if you forget about what I've said, we've been using a very conservative value of 1 direct
And
One
one
indirect.
and 1 indirect
Per
until
unit.
we had the study
that
done.
report came out.
And now what
We're at 3
the
points.
president now is talking about, he's talking about 640,000. 640,000 is now based on
Based on
empirical but directly attributable.
Okay. So, a lot of, it's still a lot of numbers. And we are running out of time and there's still so much to talk about. Let me ask about how we've talked about how we attribute these jobs,
Yes.
which is okay. We still don't have like a unified formula between all of these things to just get like data that is across the board similar. But I hear your explanation. When we think about now, long term, where to attribute everything. Long term, also, how do we sustain this? Also, is affordable housing the only thing essentially holding our construction sector up?
Absolutely not.
Here's the thing though, a lot of the increase in the construction sectors comes up when affordable housing starts, which is a good thing. Increase in cement consumption as well, steel as well. So it's like, okay, is affordable housing essentially what is holding up the housing sector? Because when you look at, again, private real estate hasn't been growing as much. So then are we using affordable housing as a crutch for these sectors?
You see, let's go back, and I'm not an economist. We probably are not economists. But let's just go back to what we call common sense economics, basics. Okay? And you go back to history. When the world got into the Great Depression of the 1930s, the US president then, I think, was FDR. How did he get America out of the Great Depression in the 1930s? They invested in housing. Okay? And that's where now even when you start to trace about the American dream started with housing.
Right.
Why? Because of the long supply chain. If you disaggregate a house into components, and then you do it at great scale, every component is an industry. Okay?
True.
Because you see, there's a governor who said, why are you building houses instead of building industries? Okay? But you're building industries to do what? You must have a consumptive demand. So why housing? Housing is because it has a huge multiplier effect. So let me give you a few examples right now. We're talking about, just take sanitary ware, toilets and basins. Toilets and basins, we import them. Kenya is importing them. Right now, I have a tender that is out because I have said we have hit such a critical scale. At the moment, I need about 3 million. Why should we import those things? And they're basic things that you should be able to do them. But you see, when the quantities are low, there's no justification for you to set up the industry. So you first of all must produce a scale, then the industry start to form.
Right.
So now we're going to start having toilets, basins being the raw material is what is called white cement. If we don't have white cement, then we can import the raw material, but then the making of the toilets and whatever is going to be made. It's simple things like hinges. Think about the number of doors that we are producing. But a hinge, when you look at a hinge, it may look like a small thing. But when you have 5 million hinges, that's a whole industry. So that is why economists will tell you that if you want to grow the economy, and then this money also, remember, my good friends, it is not concentrated only at the formal. And for good reason. Our economy is largely informal. Okay, so that's why we don't need to be economists, but let's use common sense. If you look at this data produced by KNBS, it's almost talking about 17 million people are in the informal sector.
Okay.
Only 3 million are in the formal sector. So if the economy is focused on the informal, and the informal is where there is lumpy, whatever, what if you sustained a sector where the informal are continuously getting money?
All right.
That's how you're going to grow your economy.
I hear you, Bwana PS, and I absolutely agree with you. The multiplier effect is massive. And when I say, you know what, is affordable housing essentially a crutch for the construction sector, or at least the housing
It's a
sector?
critical.
It's a critical cog in the wheel. The question then becomes, we're not going to put up affordable houses continuously forever.
we should.
We should.
Because we have a huge housing gap.
Forever.
We do not even scratch the surface. No, but you see,
Yeah.
you could have said the same thing. China has grown the economy through manufacturing. Okay? But they actually started by their own consumptive demand because they have huge populations. A few years ago in the 80s, China was a slum. Then they started making whatever for themselves.
Yep.
Then they start producing, not just for themselves, they start producing for others.
Yes.
So here in Kenya, what I'm
Let's
saying
put
is,
a graph. Like, the demand is incredibly high right now.
Yes.
It will plateau at some point.
and how many years?
I don't know.
How many
I'm
years?
just-
What's the projection?
Even 20 years, we'll still be doing this
We'll
because
still be doing
At this scale.
200,000
Absolutely.
units a year.
Absolutely. Because, Latif, this country, okay, and sometimes we can disagree, and it's okay to disagree, and this debate is important.
Yeah.
But the reality of the matter is we cannot bury our heads in the sand because 65% of every urban dweller lives in a slum. I mean, but because you pass by those slums every day. And the slums are growing by the numbers. Why? Where are these slums growing? The slums are growing because every year you have got 800,000 people that are joining the job market. And they're not good. The economy is not creating enough jobs. You have got 500,000. You have got 800,000 people who are graduating. You have got 500,000 people who are moving from rural to urban areas. When they come to urban areas, what do they find? They don't find the housing.
Yeah.
So we have a challenge to fix. Okay? All right? We can disagree on how to fix the world, which is fair.
Okay.
Okay? But for
We
as
can't
long as
disagree that our population is growing.
absolutely,
that
and
we
our
are
land is
rapidly-
constant.
And we are rapidly urbanizing.
And our land is constant because our land is not growing into Uganda. We're not taking Uganda or Tanzania land. Have we?
Fixed. Okay.
It's fixed.
Whew. Let's end the conversation there just because of time. But I think it's good to interrogate this other end of the affordable housing conversation. Thank you for sharing the numbers. I think we have an understanding of what informs the numbers, both from KNBS's perspective and from yourself as a state department.
And allow me to say that now going forward,
Yeah.
okay, because we have the baseline now. This is the first time it's happened since we
Began.
we started the program where we commissioned now empirical data. So this is empirical. So going forward, we already have the base of 3.26, which is confirmed by this report.
Yeah.
Okay? So if today I tell you the number of housing units is reached 300,000, just multiply by 3.26.
And we have our numbers.
You have your number.
Okay.
But we may adjust higher for now the indirect non-attributable. The one I talked about, the guy in the whatever, there's a formula they're working on it, but it's not going to be an
big
astronomical number that is going to distort the number.
Not much of a big difference.
Not much of a big difference.
PS Hinga is a Principal Secretary for Housing and Urban Development. We've been talking about numbers. Now, numbers, employment, jobs, as a result of the affordable housing program. They have a report. He's given us the numbers. We'll continue discussing and debating these numbers going forward. In the next hour, we still stay on numbers. Now, how much are we spending on research for health? It's a big thing. How much are we actually even spending on just supporting health? We'll be joined by